To the believers out there, I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you guys to put on the full armor of God and get on your face in prayer and pray over our country and our world, because we are in a serious battle right now. Thank you for watching. I hope you resonated with some of the thoughts in this video and that it was encouraging, and that you realize that I'm coming from a place of tough love, because that's what's needed right now. I'm done with political correctness and sugarcoating. In fact, I actually never do it. But if you're not used to that, welcome to the page of Good Patriot.
Who it is that she's talking to when she says believers is not black people, right? It's not black culture. Who she's talking to is white culture. And specifically within white culture, she's talking to evangelical Christians. The same evangelical Christians who are overwhelmingly Trump supporters. Understand something of what she meant when she said giving them tough love. Basically saying why she just scared the hell out of them. Right? And another thing that she said is that she's not politically correct. Right? They're down with political correctness. You know, what she really means is that as times have gone on, then the norms of white supremacy have no longer been accepted. And because they're no longer accepted, the ways and behaviors of white cultures are now beginning to come into question. And as they're coming into question, they're pushing back against it and says, oh, that's just political correctness, right? Politically, it's the correct thing to do, right? If it's not about race, then you should understand that it's about humanity. And it's for you to respect the humanity of other people. But yet, for some reason, these evangelical Christians don't respect the humanity of other people. That should be the bigger question. Why don't they see everyone else as human beings, even though they call themselves Christians?
For a long time, evangelicals have been, if not leading, very much at the forefront of kind of racism in America. I would argue, historically, really more as an evangelical, I would argue it's a failure of their, it's a failure of faith. If we believe Jesus died on the cross sort of for our sins, the redemption, all human beings are worthy of redemption in God's eyes, regardless of gender, race, class, and so forth. So it moves even beyond just the creation to the redemption. So I think evangelicals have an amazing set of resources in their faith to be able to overcome these racial problems. And for a variety of reasons, they just failed to do it because I think they're overcome by fear. In many ways, they're overcome by and this deeply rooted idea that somehow we are an exceptional nation, that God has blessed us above other nations, that we are a new Israel, right? In some ways, evangelicals still believe they're in this kind of contractual relationship with God. Americans are evangelicals believe that if we don't keep a pure Christian nation, we're going to lose. We're going to lose God's favor in some ways. So I think that all of those kinds of really bad kind of historical assumptions and theological assumptions, right? Fear, I love the Marilyn Robinson quote that fear is not a Christian habit of mind, right? So there's these kind of psychological, theological errors, historical errors that get in the way of us kind of living out our faith with a sense of hope, right? With a sense of equality, with a sense of what Martin Luther King called the beloved community.
He says something very important there. That these people aren't able to have this empathy, have this shared love for other people regardless of who they are, in a sense to understand that there's redemption within all human beings, that they don't have this peace within their spirituality due to historical and theological assumptions. Now, that's a very clever way to say white supremacy, because these assumptions that he's addressing are all from the Middle Ages or Dark Ages or Medieval Ages, whatever it is that you want to call it. What he's basically saying is that there are these flat assumptions that have been made within white culture. This white supremacy is not something that is unique to the United States of America. It's worldwide. It's this crisis of faith that we find ourselves in today in America. We can continue to accept these old assumptions, historical and theological, or we can sit down and find the way forward.